Life feels like one long montage, a highlight reel none of us agreed to edit, filled with wins and losses, big moments and small ones that blur red. The strange thing is, most of the time, we don't even notice it happening. We go through our days repeating routines, and before we know it, another week has passed, another month, another year. And then we look back and wonder, was I actually present for any of it? I've been thinking about control a lot lately. How much of life do we actually control? We're told to set goals, make plans, and map out our futures. But if you've lived even a little, you know life doesn't follow the script. You think you're going one way and then something unexpected knocks you off course. Sometimes those changes hurt. Other times they save you. But either way, they remind us how fragile our illusion of control really is. What if control isn't the point? What if control is the distraction? Maybe the real skill is learning how to adapt, how to breathe when the script gets torn up, how to improvise when life doesn't match your expectations. In it, playing a game. You can spend hours studying strategies, memorizing mechanics, preparing for every situation. But once you're in the actual match, chaos shows up. An enemy appears where you didn't expect. A teammate makes a mistake, or something random flips everything upside down. And in that moment, the best players aren't the ones with the best pan. They're the ones who can adjust when the pan collapses. Maybe life is the same way. It's less about controlling every detail and more about flowing with the unexpected. Maybe life isn't a war we have to win, it's a game we get to play. Another thing on my mind is work, the grind. How we spend so much of our lives trading time for money. Wake up, commute, work, collapse, repeat. It's strange how quickly we accept that rhythm means normal, like this is just what being human is supposed to feel like. But think about it, technology has advanced more in the last 100 years than in all of history before it. Machines handle tasks that once took entire teams. Software automates what used to take days. And yet people are buzzers than N. Somehow, the more tools we create to save time, the less time we actually have. It makes me wonder how many people will spend their best years waiting for later to finally live, waiting for retirement, waiting for weekends, waiting for some mythical future moment when they'll finally get to rest and explore what actually matters. And when that day finally comes, will they even have the energy left to enjoy it? I don't think humans were built to grind. There has to be more to life than endlessly proving our worth through output. Burning out in the name of achievement doesn't feel like living. It feels like missing the point. And yet, I'm still torn. I want to build, to grow, to achieve. But I don't want to miss the actual living part. The culture around us glorifies exhaustion. It calls endless hustle dedication. And even when I know better, part of me still believes it. That tension, wanting to grow while also wanting to breathe, might be the hardest lesson of all. And then their connection. We live in a world that's more connected on the surface than N. Social media, texts, endless ways to stay in touch. And yet people are lonelier than N. Why is that? Maybe because true connection requires more than contact. It requires vulnerability. It requires recording the parts of yourself that aren't polished or filtered. And that's terrifying. Because if someone rejects the mask you wear, that stings. But if they reject the real you underneath, that feels unbearable. So instead we hide. We present curated versions of ourselves, hoping it'll be enough. But it never is, because deep down what we crave is to be seen, to be understood, to have someone look at us and say, I get it, I see you. That kind of connection is rare, but when you find it, it changes everything. Another theme I keep circling back to is phage. For a long time I thought growth meant stacking wins, progress meant moving in a straight line upward. But I've learned there it is often the best teacher. Every time I've failed, it humbled me. It cracked my pride. It forced me to confront blind spots I didn't want to see. Failure hurts, but it also clears space. It clears away illusions and pride, and in that space, growth sneaks in. Maybe failure isn't the opposite of growth. Maybe failure is growth. Like in a yay, losing a round doesn't mean you're bad, it means you're learning. Every mistake teaches you timing, mechanics, strategy. Every loss is data, and the player who learns from fail is the one who gets better. Maybe life is exactly the same. And then their purpose. Not the grand kind people write books about, not the one big destiny waiting to be discovered. I think purpose is something smaller, something created moment by moment. Purpose is built in the little choices we make daily. Choosing kindness when it's hard, choosing honesty when it would be easier to lie. Choosing to show up for someone when hiding feels safer. Maybe purpose doesn't have to be big. Maybe it just has to be true. And that all points back to presence. The only real thing we have is now, not the past we replay, not the future we stress over, just this moment. Practicing presence is simple, but it's not easy. My mind always wants to wander, to analyze, to regret, to Anne. But when I bring myself back to right now, I feel more alive than at any other time. Life isn't waiting for us later, it's already here. I made that the lesson of the montage, to stop trying to edit it into perfection and instead experience it as it is. So that's where my head been. No conclusions, just reflections. Not final answers, just questions worth asking. If something here resonate with you, sit with it. And if it stirred up your own reflections, share them. Because the real magic isn't in one voice, but in the conversation that follows. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, stay curious, stay present, and keep playing the D.